now it is. And we'll have that posted on the website for you all tomorrow if you need to go back to it. So, all right. As a school district, we're still committed, as always, to providing the highest quality education for every child. Our first day of comprehensive distance learning is obviously Monday. And I know there's a lot of anxiety out there building up to that first day. And we feel it as parents are feeling it. We're doing something brand new that we've never done before, and we want to do it right. And so we've put a lot of time into it. We still have lots of things we're still working on, and I'm sure that nobody will deny that, but we're going to continue working on it. It won't be perfect to start with, but we are committed, and that is our focus. So I thank you for your patience. Elementary online curriculum is now Edmentum, and Jasmine will be rolling that out with our primary classrooms for the online version. And then as a reminder, we sent out a reminder tonight, but parent training tomorrow evening, similar format. We hope you can join us for that opportunity as well. As always, we talk about access for all, trying to make sure that we provide an equitable opportunity for every one of our kids, regardless of their personal situation, location, where they're at in their educational growth. We want to make sure that we access everyone and provide all resources for every child. That includes Chromebooks, Kajii Internet hotspots. We just got those literally yesterday. They are getting logins for them today, and I know that they're going to be going out in mass droves shortly. We'll be sending out messages to the parents and families that have indicated the need for those. Currently, we have about 51, 52 students that are still in need of a hotspot, and our goal is to get them in hands of those who need them before the weekend. All of our schedules, all the principal schedules have daily office hours for all students. They're continuing to provide trainings. There will be additional trainings beyond tomorrow night. We will be scheduling those as we see the need and we get feedback from our parents and our students. We have a great support for all technology needs, and most of you have experienced that over the summer and last spring with Scott May, our technology director. He has information out there how you can get your Chromebook troubleshooted or fixed if it gets broken, and he can also help with hotspots and any of those technical supports. He's got that information posted and out there for parents if they need help. And then of course, one of our biggest priorities for this year is providing social and emotional supports for all families and students. Securely is a program we've been using for several months, and we introduced this last week. This is a partnership with the school district and with families on making sure that our students are all safe when they're using technology, whether it's at home or in our buildings. Securely is a software program that filters or monitors and filters our content on all of our devices that go through our system, and it can we monitor and set up those settings, and then we have the ability for parents to have control over those filters as well, and automatically receive reports from whether it's suspicious activity or language or searches that are suspicious. At least it sends notices to let you know what kind of content your students are either searching for or getting or developing. So focuses primarily on cyberbullying, suicide, and any violence-related content.
Hey, Troy.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy. Sorry, there's a question here related to Securely. Parents want to know if they can opt out of Securely.
No, you cannot. You can opt out of getting the notices. You can opt out of the reports to where you don't have to be involved in that. But no, as long as they're the content is going through school district devices and through our servers, we have to make sure that our kids and our information is safe. And that's the only way we can do it, is by using this type of a safety tool. So no, you're using our system and our tools, you cannot.
I also wanted to let you know that when you had the power outage, Jasmine and I adjusted the slideshow slightly. We've restored that now that everybody's back. You might need to refresh your slideshow. Sorry about that. When you have a power outage at 6:58, you make some last minute changes. But I've now restored it and it should all be there. You might need to back up a couple slides.
Can you guys all see it now?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, but back up to, I think 2 slides is where it was originally at, to review for people who didn't make it last time and there was no recording. So 1 more slide. Thank you.
And I believe that's me, if I'm not mistaken. So this is Dale Peterson, the principal up at JFK. We are kind of circling back, if you will, and I apologize because I am on my phone having technical issues at my house, which is not in Mount Angel. So it's kind of all over the place. So I've got this little tiny screen that I'm working off of, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. So again, for those folks that were with us last week and those that weren't with us last week, we talked about the decisions that we make as a district and as buildings. We're always looking at and reading our vision statements and our mission statements, our beliefs and our values, to make sure that we're making the right decisions, and those decisions are aligned to all of those: the mission, the value, our beliefs, and our visions, our values. We've done, as you can see in the bullet points, district-wide training on comprehensive distance learning for a very long time, it seems like. We actually have a very nice social emotional curriculum training, Character Strong, which we've had folks go through the training on it now, and it's going to be really good for our buildings. Our teachers have worked pretty darn hard on curriculum mapping and creating critical standards, so to be ready to go with our students next week. And our staff have also partaken in Hungerford Special Education and 504 training district-wide. We've also been working on technology with Seesaw and our Google migration training. Soon to come Zoom trainings, which I think is very appropriate for this evening, if I can chuckle a little bit. So then we've had our required trainings for our district, which is our building district COVID-19 protocols, and then our state schools trainings. So again, kind of circling back, where are we heading? So Edgenuity training for secondary actually happens tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So we'll have a 3-hour training for our new curriculum at the secondary level, for our students to be able to access some elective courses that we don't offer, fill gaps in their maybe their schedules, things like that. Also, again, we've working really hard with our folks our teachers with curriculum mapping. They've been doing a lot of unit planning here lately, and again, they're pretty darn close to being ready as far as the unit planning stuff goes. Lots of work that's happened this week, so we're still gearing up for on Monday. Canvas, so technology. Canvas, I believe, is right around the corner, but I think we're going to do a slow rollout of Canvas. We need to actually get in front of our kids right away on Monday, and we're not going to wait on a learning management system that prevents us from possibly doing that, actually doing it well. So, and we don't want to put any more stress and anxiety with our staff. So we're going to roll it out slow. We'll roll it out to our kids and to our families to make sure that they have all the training they need to be successful. Video conference trainings, again, I'm chuckling a little bit with kind of the issues we're having this evening. We'll have some Zoom training now that all teachers have Zoom accounts. They may or may not have known that, but that happened later today, probably around 4:30-ish. So we'll be able to do some Zoom trainings with them as well. Family engagement. So, gosh, virtual home visits began today, and you can expect that they'll go on tomorrow and then on Friday. And then also family trainings to prepare for our distance learning will be happening tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. So please join us for that. There's lots of great information, as basic as how do my kids log in, and get to maybe it might get a little more technical depending on the questions that we might have from parents and kids. And then again, more COVID-19 district-wide training, and then also our health training. So a lot's happened in the last few weeks. Teachers have been busy with PD and training and lesson planning and curriculum mapping. So I think that's a good thing. And again, we're doing all this just to make sure that we're ready for your kids on Monday.
I can address this one. We just found out this week, Jasmine has been working with local YMCA, and they are ready to go. We had a hard time getting a hold of them through the summer, but once we got a hold of them, they moved right along. So starting Monday, they will be providing childcare and after-school program for students in grades kindergarten through 5th. They're going to be housed over in our old St. Mary's gym. We have been remodeling restrooms this week, getting access to the downstairs for that group. And as you can see there, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And the cost there for a full day is $125 per week, and a half day is $85 per week. So if you're interested, please contact YMCA directly, and the numbers are there, the contact information. And we'll have this on our website as well. Community questions? Oh, go for it, Jared.
Yeah, we're in the community questions piece. So we'll start reading out the questions that came into us, and we'll have our administrators, my fellow administrators, kind of help me answer these. The first one is, how will the district communicate important dates for school events, holidays, etc. once school begins? And this is a great question because it's not going to change from what we've done in previous years. We will be looking to communicate that on our district and school calendars. And so if you go to our district website or individual websites, you should find all of those updates in the very near future. And we hope to continue a lot of the same activities we've done before, but hopefully just at a distance. Next question. What will weekly schedules look like for students at each school? And so I'm going to have Jasmine actually talk a little bit about elementary first.
All right, absolutely. So I just put a picture of the 3rd grade schedule up here just to give you an idea of what a weekly schedule would look like. For families that came and picked up their Chromebooks and their supplies from teachers in the past 2 days, you should have received a color copy of your student's grade level schedule that looked very similar. It just has different boxes in different areas labeled differently. So you'll notice the yellow areas of each day are the times when the student will be logged in with their teacher. It does not mean that they'll be, working on the screen that entire time, but their teacher will be there live with them, either providing that direct instruction or staying on the camera while the students are working independently and answering questions or supporting students in some fashion. The pinkish purple color there are the times that are asynchronous, so when the teacher is not live. So you'll see that the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday days all look the same. And then Wednesday is mostly asynchronous. We still have the morning assembly portion with all of the school together for the first 15 minutes. And then we still have at the end of the day, teacher office hours, the same hours that were mentioned before, the 2:30 to 3:30 time, every day of the week. But other than that, Wednesdays are asynchronous, where students are completing activities that the teachers have assigned to them and turning them in.
Thank you, Jasmine. For the middle school, I'm going to show you guys 2 different schedules. The first one you're seeing up there is a cohort A schedule, and these students meet every Monday and Thursday. And as you can see on those Mondays and Thursdays, those are synchronous times in which we're live with teachers. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are applied learning or asynchronous times. But students will be getting instruction, 50 minutes of instruction in all class periods, 5 days a week. And so you see that office hours will continue to be 2:30 to 3:30 each day. And if we were to transition to our cohort B schedule, it looks very similar. Just those synchronous or live teacher facilitated instructional times are on Tuesdays and Fridays. And very similar to the elementary school, instead of morning assemblies on our Wednesday schedule, we'll look to be doing PM assemblies, in which we'll look to incorporate some of our leadership students in that, as well as myself and our counselor, to just connect with students as many ways as we can. And I'll transition to Dale for the high school.
All right, thanks, Jared. Our schedule is much like the elementary schedule, and there's learning. Something I talked to my folks about this morning is that teaching and learning is happening every day. We talk about synchronous. You've heard the term synchronous and asynchronous learning and teaching. We are going to see our kids every single day, just like the elementary are going to see their kids. Wednesday is that kind of that strange day. It's an asynchronous day, if you will, where we still need to check in with our kids, but again, teaching and learning is happening every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, with asynchronous learning happening on Wednesdays. So the colors that you see there, those would be the cohorts when we have to go to a cohorting model, which only means that when we get to come back into school in a hybrid model, you'll see that there's much like Jared's, there's a Monday, Thursday cohort. That would be cohort A, and then a Tuesday, Friday cohort, and that would be cohort B. But right now we're not having to do that. So again, we're teaching and learning every single day except for that Wednesday afternoon, which is asynchronous.
Thank you. Next question, how will families be kept updated on whether or not students are turning in assignments? And this is a great question. I hope you tune in, I should say, tomorrow night. Miss Karcher, formerly Miss Matson, she'll be going through a secondary Google Classroom training in which she'll walk parents through exactly how to get some of that access and weekly updates on student assignments. And so at the secondary level, we're going to be asking that parents reach out to students advisory teachers, which for the middle school tends to be their third period teacher that you would have seen on schedules. And once you're signed up once as a parent or guardian, you're going to get all updates that your students are actually, all classes that your students are actually enrolled in at the middle school level. And so that is one way in which you'll get those updates. But we're also going to really encourage you guys to utilize our gradebook systems, just like always, where you're going to see updated grades in there and be able to track that more routinely. For Jasmine, I'll let Jasmine expand on elementary.
Thank you. Yes. So while the Seesaw program is a little bit new to us and we're kind of figuring out exactly what that looks like for families, we do know that there is a family app, and we'll be talking about that tomorrow night in the training session as well, and helping families get connected that way so that you can view your students' assignments. We're learning right along with you. So we will get that information to you as quick as we can and figure out a way for you to be able to see what you need to see for our elementary students.
Will Mount Angel School District counselors be available for supporting student health and behavior?
Not sure whose that is, but I'll if I'm interrupting somebody, let me know.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yes, our counselors are leading that effort for supporting our students' behavioral health, and they'll have office hours just like our teachers will, and they'll make those present. And I know that at each building there's going to be a different access and different times and ways that they access those resources. But yes, absolutely, we want our counselors to be available to all of our students, and we know that that's going to be one of our heaviest needs, especially up front as we get started.
Troy, I can add to that. We also have continued every year to expand what we offer in the way of mental health and behavior supports. Our additional resources this year are adding a full-time FTE of a mental health therapist through Trillium Family Services. And you can find that information on our website. Under resources, we do have a mental health or mental wellness, excuse me, that's what it's labeled. There's several different resources there, but Trillium Family Services is on there. There's several links and attachments from there, and it talks about what their prevention services look like, as well as their outpatient services, which would be therapy. So you can find that resource there. The other thing that we have added would be some time is in what we call a behavior specialist role, so that counselors can do some more counseling specific things. And then we have people who can support more behavior, which is under the role of our school psychologist who writes our behavior support plans. So we have people who can support behavior, and then we have people who can support more counseling, and then higher tier staff related to mental health. So we really do have a multi-tiered system of support in that area.
Thank you, Erica. There we go. Next question. What is available on the district site to support families to get started with online learning?
Is that the next slide? Is that the next slide, Jared?
Yes, can you guys see it?
No, is it the link to the new site that Erica and McKenna are building? There we go.
That may be. Would you
Yeah.
like me to click
Awesome.
on that?
There it is.
I am super excited to talk to you guys about this. We wanted to wait until we had this meeting with you all today. It looks like we have almost 70 people here, which is super exciting. McKenna, who is our high school special education teacher, as well as our digital learning specialist up at the high school, and I have been working on this over the weekend and then putting some finishing touches on it over the last couple of days. This is a website for family and students on all the digital tools that you are going to need for this coming school year. After sharing it with you tonight, it will be live tomorrow morning, and we are going to add to it as different things become available, things that you're going to need. So we hope that it's going to be something that you reference often. So we will hope that you will bookmark it. Jared, if you will click on it, I do want to show families what it does look like. And so Jared, if you'll go up to the top, see where my face is?
Yep.
Okay, go over 3 and you'll be in preview mode. Yep, right there. Great. So this, when you go to it, this is the landing page that you will see. We have called it Family Connect. Thought I was being pretty creative, right? Connect, digital connection. So that was how we came up with that. So hopefully you find this page welcoming. If you scroll down, so there's 2 ways that you can navigate this page. If you scroll down and click on the digital resources page there. Yep. So then you'll see 2 different menu bars, and they are drop down menus. So if you click on the drop down for learning platforms, you will see we have 5 different things there for you. Each of those are hot links that will take you to a different page, and I'll just show you a couple. So for example, if you click on Google Classroom, Jared, it will take you to the Google Classroom page, and you will see some resources, some how-to, and we tried to do as many things as we could in English and in Spanish, using both how-tos and some videos explaining Google Classrooms for families. You can just use the back button within your browser to navigate back, or, okay, great, I'll show you a different way. So drop down, and then if you click on Canvas, for example, so click on Canvas, and it'll tell you that it's coming soon. So you're not missing anything. And it also tells you what we're using in the meantime. So for example, it says, please become familiar with Google Classroom, and there's a link to get you back to Google Classroom. Each of them within the yellow gives you a short description of what it is, because we understand that it's been really confusing of what all these different platforms are for. I saw a really funny meme about like getting on the, Zabble Gork and Google, I don't know, whatever. But I was like, wow, that is definitely how parents feel. And I know as a parent of 2 elementary school kids doing distance learning, it definitely feels like that. It is very overwhelming, even when you have all the resources. So there are 2 ways you can navigate back. One of those is what Jared showed you, which is just the back button. But Jared, if you go to the top right where it says family resources, yep, there's another drop down, and you could just choose from there. But I do want you to go back to the home page, Jared. Thank you. And if you scroll back down, you'll go back, yep, sorry, digital resources page, right there in the middle. Sorry, right there in the middle where it's white. Above the cute kids.
Right here?
Yep.
There you go.
So we've grouped them into learning platforms, and then under tools and resources, yep, there's a couple other things. So we have the grades and attendance, creating learning environments at home, digital citizenship, and Chromebook FAQs. If you want to click, for example, Chromebook FAQs, I don't know, I'm making this up as we go, but there's some questions with some drop downs for you. So like I said, I am really excited about this. As you guys ask questions, we will add more things to it. As we add other features, we will put them on there. Again, this is really specific to teaching and learning and instruction. So anything that is technical in nature, like, my screen is broken on my Chromebook, this would not be the place for that. That's going to have a different venue. We would probably put a link to that here. So like you say, that third question, what do I need to do to return a Chromebook or a hotspot? So it tells you exactly there what to do. So we're not going to be the places for all the things, but we will at least direct you in the right place.
Thank you, Erica.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this. I'm very excited for all of our digital learning specialists to be supporting not only our teachers in this venture, but also our families. So be looking for this, share it. It will be on the district website, and then I will post a link to it on our district Facebook page as well, which of course you can also then see for sharing out on your school's Facebook page as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Erica and McKenna.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll read this question so everybody can hear it. What will high school shop classes look like from a distance?
First, thank you, Erica, for explaining the website that we have there for our families and our kids, where everything now is in one spot. So I think that's awesome for our families. So what will high school shop classes look like? I think about this. What will any high school class that has hands-on learning look like? I can throw biology in there and chemistry in there. And then also shop and also ag science, things like that. I can tell you this, I was out talking with our ag teachers, Corey Scholl, late yesterday afternoon as she was working through curriculum mapping and critical standards for her classes. She's been reaching out to all of her colleagues. They have a fantastic, what we call PLC, so another acronym in the education world called professional learning communities. These are folks that work in other districts that in like jobs that Corey has. And I don't have necessarily any specifics about what it will look like, but she assures me that we are doing things just like other districts are doing in order to be able to get our kids the level of instruction that they'll need. She was actually showing me, and Mr. Stoops might be able to help with this. It was a website called Lincoln, and it was talking about welding and showing, and they had a lot of videos about beginning welding all the way to advanced welding and the different types of welding that you can do. So I know that she's been working really hard with that, And I know that our science teachers as well have been working really hard to be able to do that. I can tell you, Mr. Arn, our physics teacher, has joined a Facebook group, a nationwide Facebook group, AP Physics Facebook, to be able to deliver a level of instruction that's really good. And he's gotten a lot of great ideas from those folks. So while I can't necessarily give you specifics, I know our folks are working really hard to make sure that we can give some really good levels of instruction for our kids with hands-on learning.
Thanks, Dale.
I muted everybody again, so if you need to speak, please turn it back on.
And we're going to turn it right over to you.
Oh, already. Wow. Well, I have a few questions that we might be able to answer. Maybe, maybe not. I'll run them by you. A couple of them, one here for Jared and Dale. It was mentioned that there will be some student-led days on Wednesdays. What does that look like for students?
Yeah, I can go first. Students are gonna, during those synchronous or teacher facilitated days, students are gonna oftentimes have classwork or independent work that they may need to work on at a distance. It could be both independent, it could be also group in nature. And depending on how that's structured, we'll be there ready to support. And so we also have staff members that are gonna be available for students who are working at a distance. If they need additional support, we're gonna be able to be live and try to meet their needs the best we can.
Troy, can I ask a clarifying question on that? Was that about Wednesdays or was that about different days of the week?
It's about Wednesdays, yes.
Okay. Wednesdays at the high school are going to certainly be asynchronous days, which are not teacher facilitated days, and especially in the afternoon. So how I see that happening is, while we still have to take attendance every single day, we will be able to do so. I can see a lot of office hours and support from our staff on Wednesday afternoons, where kids can actually Zoom in with their teachers if they're needing some additional support. And then our teachers also reaching out to kids that they know should receive some additional support, and also connecting with families too. So the second half of the day is really meant to be open for our folks to be able to communicate with kids and help and support them.
Question about high school electives. Says, will there eventually be high school electives? Yes, we actually just had this conversation the other day, and I can answer it for you, Dale, because we just talked about it. 23% of the current offerings at the high school are actually electives. Question about, there's been some folks who came in late. Yes, this session is being recorded. We will have it posted tomorrow on our website if you would like to go back and watch the whole presentation. Thank you. Compliment about our social media information that's being posted. Thank you, Erica and Jared and Jasmine or whoever, if I missed whoever is doing the posting. They asked to make sure that we get it in Spanish. Question about MAMS is on a hybrid schedule starting now, or no, it says, so is MAMS on a hybrid schedule starting now, or were those colors showing what it will look like when we go back in person like JFK?
Yeah, MAMS continues to stay in that blended learning hybrid model, both at a distance, and it will be the same for when we return in person.
A question about help next week, technical issues, because they know that other districts are having lots of technical issues as they start up. Yes, we are planning for that. Obviously, we don't know what the load is going to be, but we know that next week is going to be very busy, and Scott May is making that a priority with support staff and himself being available for that. We're hoping that our teachers are going to be able to help with the majority of those questions directly with parents and with students. But yes, we will have technical help. Compliments on the Parent Connect page. Um, Question about office hours. Will there be a way for students to access those service, i.e. a Zoom link or a Google Classroom link? And I'm assuming, help me principals if I don't get it right, but I'm assuming that that will all be delivered directly from the classroom teacher.
Correct. Yeah, you should see that directly from our classroom teachers in addition to their Google Classroom shells, or if they're in Canvas, it will be in a Canvas shell as well. And so they just have to access their single sign-on, and they should see a reoccurring meeting.
Middle school question. At the middle school, does cohort B meet on the first day of school on Monday?
We don't meet on the first day. Our first synchronous day is Tuesday. However, we do have some activities that will be going out to students about getting them logged on and making sure that they understand what the instruction will look like day one in preparation for day two. And so our teachers are working hard right now. Ms. Karcher, who's helping us with some of that development of that. You guys should see some resources coming out to students very soon, and some videos we're going to be asking them to watch.
Question about why do middle schoolers have 2 days of live instruction? That's all based on staffing and the cohorting. This has been some of the most challenging work that our principals have had to do this summer and this fall. And so that's the way it works, only 2 days of instruction. And when we do come back to in-person, it'll be pretty much a seamless transition for the middle school and the elementary school. Mr. Peterson will have to do some splitting for cohorting to get kids back in person. That's why there's the differences between the buildings, but primarily it is the level of staffing and the processes for cohorting in each of those buildings. Another question about hotspots. We will be getting, we just got our hotspots yesterday, and they are programming them today. And I'm assuming that we will be able to start distributing those tomorrow. The parents who signed up and gave us feedback on the needs, we have a master spreadsheet with, I believe it's at 52 students currently, and we will be contacting all those families directly. Just a reminder, this session is being recorded. We will have it posted on our website. I think I'm through with the majority of our questions. Asking about the schedules that have been received don't delineate the difference between the synchronous and asynchronous days. Can those be updated to be more clear? Specifically middle school, will elementary students be aware of their cohorts? We see that on the middle and high school schedules.
I can address the elementary piece there. So elementary school, no, we are not yet broken into cohorts. It's much easier to do that at the elementary level. And really we can split each class basically into two if that is, if our class sizes are too large for the space that we're in. So as Troy has mentioned before, our focus is to try to have our youngest students be able, when we go back into in-person instruction, to be able to attend every day. And then our third through fifth really attending every other day, much the same as the others for the cohorting, because our class sizes are a little bit larger. So that will not be a very difficult transition for us to make when we get a little bit closer to that.
With the middle school, you'll see at the very bottom or the end of each student's schedule, you'll see where it says cohort A or cohort B, and it actually has the synchronous days listed there. And so if you just go to the very bottom of that schedule, you should see it there. If not, please don't hesitate to reach out and we'll help you identify that.
And at the high school, I'm just going to say we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. The focus for the high school, especially when we have graduation requirements that we have to meet, is that's the reason why I have our teachers meeting with our kids Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, in what we would typically call synchronous, if you will. I just want to call it again, high levels of teaching and learning every period. So when I'm working on a plan right now, it's likely to be by grade level, much like Jared has down at the middle school. And when we move into a cohorting, but there's some little minor things that we have to tweak out between now and then. And unfortunately, with the way the metrics are, we're not trending in the right direction, excuse me. So it looks like we've got some time to be able to put those in place. So that will happen when we need to do that. But again, right now, my focus is making sure that I've got teachers in front of kids every period, every day, except for that Wednesday.
Question about the development of cohorts, and did we consider whole families being put into cohorts? And yes, we've talked about a lot of different situations that impact our cohorts, and in this district, families are a very difficult piece of that because we have several families with students in every building, and that makes it very difficult. And my understanding is that if someone gets exposed and there's a situation where they have to be isolated, I think families are going to be able to isolate a student in their home without the whole family having to be isolated as an option. We don't know yet, but that's what we've heard is a possibility depending on the situation at home. So hope we don't get there, but we'll be prepared for it if we do. I believe that is all of our questions. We will continue to listen to the feedback from our parents. We appreciate it. Truly, your questions help drive us and help us think in areas that we don't think, and we're striving to get those answered as quick as possible. You don't have to wait for a question and answer session. You can ask those questions directly from your teachers now that they're going to be in session, or your administrators. You know, if you have a question, try to get an answer. Don't wait for the next session, because as fast as time goes nowadays and as quick as things change, we need to get your questions answered as soon as possible. And with that, this is going to be our first week coming up. We are going to assess at the end of the first week. We will assess where we're at and look at what additional training needs that we have, and look at our need for additional listening or question and answer sessions. And so as soon as we get through that first week, we'll have a plan for moving forward that based on the feedback that we get from you and our experiences of that first week, and we'll plan accordingly. But no, this is not going to be the end of your ability to hear from us and give us feedback and ask questions. We will continue that dialogue throughout the year. We just don't know how often or if this is going to continue to be the correct format once we get started. We're hoping that we can use the instruction time and our advisors and our homerooms, and that the ability for our staff to reach out to you and your children directly in a more immediate fashion. So with that, thank you again for your patience and grace through this process. We have staff and administrators that have undoubtedly worked harder at preparing for the start of a year than they ever have in the past. We've heard from some of our most senior teachers that they feel like they're a brand new teacher again, because this is so new and the expectations are so different. And it's our teachers feed off of the smiles and the feedback and the discussions and those learning moments with the kids that when they get to see them every day face to face in the classroom, pat them on the back and joke with them and talk about all the things that you talk about between an educator and a kid about their hopes and dreams and help them learn along the way. This method of teaching isn't going to allow for that level of interaction, but we're striving to make sure that the interaction that we develop between our teachers and our students is as good as it can be for the situation we're in. And we hope that we can adapt as we move along and make it better and better each and every week. So with that, again, we'll get this posted on the website, and the parent resource or the Parent Connect site will be live tomorrow, and we will continue building on that each day. Question and answers will all be updated into our Q&A file, to where all these questions will be there and with answers to them, so that hopefully we can continue to build off them as we've done. So with that, we had I think we had up to 68 participants tonight. So we set a record for listening sessions. We appreciate all of you being here and taking the time to participate. We apologize for the technical issues, but I think that's the new way of doing work. You're going to have at least one or two technical issues, and I know we'll have a few of them on Monday. But please be patient. We will get everybody connected as running smoothly as quick as we can. With that, anything else, administrators, you need to add?
Just thank you for your grace and patience. It's been a long road since March 13th was the last time we got to see your kids in person. So we were fortunate at the high school to have a in-person graduation in July. So we got to see those kids off. I can't speak for the other administrators, but I'm sure they feel the same way. We would much rather have your kids in building than online. So we will do what we can, and we will do our best to make sure that your kids are getting the education that they deserve, and then try to have some fun with them while we can online as much as we can.
Yeah, teachers are reaching out, doing virtual home visits this week, and so they're excited to connect with our students and our parents, to just kind of let them know what instruction for week 1 will look like. And so if it's not a convenient time to talk, just let us know when it is, and we'll do our best to get a hold of you.
Yeah, and I heard from my teachers today that they just were so happy to start connecting again with our families and our students. So we are so looking forward to day 1, whatever it brings. We'll be as ready as we can be, and we are definitely here to support your kiddos. So very excited for next week to finally be here.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Be safe.